Hello, my name is Julie D. Walker. I am from the School of Education at Liberty University, and today I'll be talking about the TPACK model. So what exactly is the TPACK model? TPACK stands for Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge. As you can see here in this Venn diagram, there are three areas of knowledge that intertwine: technical knowledge, content knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. The area where the pedagogical and the technological knowledge combine is called TPK. The area where the technical knowledge and content knowledge come together is called the TCK. And the area where the pedagogical and the content knowledge come together is known as PCK. The goal is to have TPACK, technological, pedagogical content knowledge. The first area I'm going to talk about is content knowledge, or CK. This is knowledge from the educator about the subject matter. Knowledge of theories, concepts, ideas, frameworks, and approaches towards developing knowledge. An example from Roblier and Hughes is knowing properties of geometric shapes. Next is pedagogical knowledge, or PK. This is knowledge about the learning and teaching processes, practices, and methods. Learning theories, techniques, and methods of teaching, and knowing how do students obtain knowledge and skills. An example from Roblier and Hughes is using scaffolding to help students meaning making and knowledge construction. Technical knowledge, or TK, is knowledge of technology, learning technologies, and computer literacy. An example from Roblier and Hughes is using social media by the use of blogs, wikis, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Technological pedagogical knowledge, or TPK, is using technology to advance the understanding and learning of the curriculum. How does teaching and learning change with the use of technology? How can technology afford and constrain the pedagogy? An example of this from Roblier and Hughes is using an online quiz for assessment at the end of a lecture. Technological content knowledge, or TCK, is the incorporation of technology into instruction activities. How to transform learning using technology. What technologies work best for the curriculum? An example from Roblier and Hughes is using virtual math manipulatives for mathematics curriculum topics. Pedagogical content knowledge, or PCK, is interpretation of instructional materials and how to use them. Multiple means of representation and use of adaptive materials to cater to students' pre-existing knowledge. Roblier and Hughes say that using analogical skills to teach math concepts is a way of using PCK. Now let's bring all of that together. Technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge, TPACK, is knowledge from all three core components and beyond. It's not just knowledge of all three concepts, but the intertwining of all three concepts into a singular concept. This is a collaborative integration. Implementation is found in dynamic and multifaceted classrooms. All 7 constructs should be evaluated and examined for deficiencies in those areas. Roblyer and Hughes state that an example of using TPACK is, quote, using a lab for students to study velocity and speed by building a ramp, selecting a movable object, and collecting velocity and speed data from motion detectors as the object rolls down the ramp. Then graphing the resulting data and interpreting the relationship between the velocity and speed, end quote. I hope that you all have learned something today, and I hope that you will be able to integrate TPACK into your classroom. Take a look at each one of these 7 facets and look at how your knowledge can be applied. Here are my references for this presentation, and thank you again for joining.